Hi, once again, welcome back to Cbse Board Economics. My name is Saddam Hussain. In the last class, or last episode, or last video, we discussed how to estimate national income by product method, or value added method, or net output method. We discussed it, how to estimate national income by product method. Let's recall the steps you have taken to measure national income by product method. The first step was classification of industries. I hope we recollect it. All the industries we classify under three sectors. I'm sure we recollect it: primary, secondary, tertiary sector. The second step was estimating gross value of output at market price of all the three sectors. How do you get GV at MP? We can find out GV at MP by estimating sales plus change in stock. GV at MP is equal to sales plus change in stock. The third step was estimating gross value added at market price. GV at MP is equal to GVO, gross value of output, GVO at MP minus intermediate consumption expenditure. The next step was estimating net value added at market price, NV at MP. How do you get NV at MP? NV at MP is equal to GV at MP minus depreciation or consumption of fixed capital. The next step was estimating NVA at FC, that is net value added at factory cost. So from net value at market price, by subtracting NIT, we get NVA at FC. The next most important step was estimating NDP at FC, which is nothing but domestic income. How do you get domestic income? By adding the net value added at factory cost of primary sector, secondary and tertiary sector, you get NDP at FC, which is nothing but domestic income. The last step, you remember, estimating national income or NNP at FC. How do you get national income? By adding net factor income from abroad to NDP at FC or domestic income, we get NNP at FC. So that's a recap. Now, while estimating product method, we should be careful. We have to take some precautions. If you don't take the precautions, then you get the wrong figure of national income or domestic income. What are these precautions we should be taking it? The first precaution is, that is precautions of product method or value added method, or we call it as net output method. What is the first precaution? The first precaution is we should not take the value of intermediate goods. Otherwise, it leads to the problem of double counting. That's a very, very important step. We should take the value of only final goods. We should not take the value of intermediate goods. Why we should not take the value of intermediate good? Please do write the reasoning. We shouldn't take the value of intermediate goods because the value of intermediate goods is already included in the value of final goods. You remember we discussed an example. When you take the value of sugar, you should not take the value of sugar cane because the value of sugar cane is already included in the value of sugar. So that's the first step. We shouldn't take the value of intermediate goods to avoid the problem of double counting. The second thing we discussed just now, we should take the value of only final goods. Take the value of shoes, don't take the value of leather, otherwise double counting. Take the value of sugar, don't take the value of sugar cane, double counting. Take the value of furniture, don't take the value of wood, otherwise it leads to double counting. Don't take the value of cloth while taking the value of shirts. That's it. The third is we should not take the value of second hand. See, we keep on selling second hand. Sale and purchase of second hand goods should not be taken. Why we shouldn't take it? Because the value of these goods was accounted for or taken into consideration in the year they were manufactured or produced. Okay, for example, if you have an old computer or an old mobile phone which you purchased it maybe a couple of years back. Now you want to dispose it off or sell it, and you received some 20,000 rupees for it. That 20,000 we should not take it this year because this computer or mobile phone has not been manufactured this year. So any sale and purchase of second-hand goods, the value should not be taken in the present year GDP or NDP or national income, because they have not been produced in the current year. They have been accounted for in the year they were manufactured. We shouldn't take the value of intermediate goods, otherwise it leads to the problem of double counting. We should take the value of only final goods. And the third is we shouldn't take sale and purchase of second-hand goods because they have already been accounted in the year they were manufactured or sold. And the fourth one, the commissions paid to the second hand. I hope it's continuing from here. However, commissions paid to the dealers of second hand goods should be taken. What it means, if you are selling your car through some commission agent and you are paying some commission to him, that commission, what he is charging you, should be taken, because that is an economic activity. That's a productive economic activity and he is generating his services. That should be taken. The commission paid, not the value of the car. Suppose you sold a car for 20,000 rupees, or this year, we should take the value of 20,000 rupees. But however, if he is charging a commission of 1,000, that should be included. Commissions or brokerage, we call it, paid to the second-hand dealer should be included. And the next one, imputed rent of owner-occupied houses should be included. Why we should include it? The house is paying rent whether you stay there or not, whether you lend it out to someone. That is what imputed means, estimated. The value of the owner, you are staying in your own house, you take the value of the rent of that house, well, calculate national income. So imputed value of rents of owner-occupied houses should be included. I repeat, before you forget, the precautions are very important. Sometimes you might get asking what are the precautions you took while calculating national income by product method. The first precaution, I repeat again, we shouldn't take the value of intermediate goods. The second thing, we should take the value of only final goods. The third is we shouldn't take the value of sale and purchase of second-hand goods. And the fourth one is commissions and brokerage paid to the dealers of second-hand goods should be included. Imputed rent of owner-occupied houses should be included. Value of goods kept for self-consumption should be included. What it means, in India, farmers keep a part of the produce which they produce for their self-consumption. For example, if a farmer produced 100 quintals of rice, maybe he's keeping 10 quintals. So we shouldn't take only 90, but the total production of 100 quintals. So that is why we write it as value of goods kept for self-consumption. Whatever they produced it for their own use, that should be included, because that has been added in the economy or extra production has taken place in the economy. And the last one is own account production of fixed assets should be included. Own account means for your own. In villages, the farmers produce their own houses, or maybe juggi or small houses. The farmers make their own implements. The farmers produce a lot of things, not for sale in the market. They keep it for themselves. So maybe the small implements which they use in their farm, that should be included because the production has taken place. That we call it as own account production of fixed assets should be included because they have been produced. That is an economic activity. To sum it up once again, I'll tell you all the things to make you understand. These are the precautions while calculating national income by product method, or we call it as value added method or net output method. So the first thing is, why should we take the precautions? We should take the precautions, otherwise some of these values you may not include, or some of the values by mistake you include many times. It will give you exaggerated wrong figure of GDP. To avoid it, we should take these precautions. Let's see what are the precautions you should take while calculating national income by product method. The first precaution is we should take the value of only final goods. The second precaution is we should not take the value of intermediate goods. Otherwise, it leads to the problem of double counting. I give you a nice example. We should take the value of only sugar and not the value of sugar cane. Sugar is a final good and sugar cane is an intermediate good. So should take the value of only final goods, shouldn't take the value of intermediate goods. The third precaution is sale and purchase of second-hand goods should not be included, because their values have already been accounted for or included in the national income in which they were produced. I told you, if you're selling your old car, selling your mobile phone or a computer this year, which you purchased long time back, you should not take it in the current accounting year because it has not been produced this year. And next one, but however, if you are paying some commission or brokerage to the second-hand dealers, that should be included because they're providing you economic activity, they're providing you services. Imputed rents of owner-occupied houses should be included, owner-occupied houses. And value of goods kept for self-consumption should be taken because they have been produced. And own account production of fixed assets should also be included because they have been produced. That's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for watching this. Till we meet next time, it's goodbye from Saddam Hussein. Best of luck for exams. Don't forget to subscribe, share and like. Bye-bye.